Hello, this is Kate, and this is your weekly tarot card reading. Today I'm going to be using the Tarot of the Pagan Cats, so it's kind of a cat-themed deck. And I just want to remind everyone that at the end of this month, on August 30th, which is a Thursday night, I'm going to be doing a full moon reading. So that's on the full moon, and I'm going to be doing my full moon reading. And I'm going to do it via conference call, so if anyone wants to get in on that call, and it is free, I will put the link to the page on my website where you can sign up just in the description box of this video. Okay, so the full moon reading, I'm going to do kind of a general reading, kind of like I do with my YouTube videos, but it will be a chance for you to ask questions about the reading and to kind of get clarification on how the reading relates to your own life. Okay, so we'll start with the first card. Okay, and this card represents Monday and Tuesday of this coming week, and we've got Knave of Swords. And Knave of Swords is all about, it's a very mental card. There's a lot of mental energy. It's all about thinking and planning. And typically, the Knave is will come up if you're maybe having trouble planning things. So you're maybe feeling kind of overwhelmed by your thoughts or overwhelmed by planning things and kind of what's going on, and you're feeling like you're kind of on unstable ground in that sense. So I always see this card as kind of a need for grounding. So doing some grounding exercises, however you like to ground. So whether it's like a breathing technique that you do, or even just like placing your hands on the floor and taking like a few deep breaths and just imagining yourself kind of sending your kind of tangled, scrambled energy down through your hands into the earth. That's another way to ground. So I see this card as just calling for a need to kind of take a few deep breaths and kind of center yourself before you make any big decisions, especially if you're really feeling kind of mentally scrambled and you're kind of hopping from one idea to another, and you're feeling like things are just getting really overwhelming, and you have that urge to kind of organize things and plan things. And that's another meaning with this card is a need to have you know, a schedule or a plan or something, so you don't feel like you're getting overwhelmed, so you feel like things are manageable. Okay, so the next card, moving deeper into the week, so this card represents Wednesday and Thursday, and we've got Two of Swords, and this is actually a really cute card. And Two of Swords is all about holding back and kind of avoiding making a choice. So you might feel as you get into the week like you're gonna have to make a decision or two, and you might feel like you're kind of holding back because you feel like you don't know all the information. You feel like there's pieces of important information that are missing from the whole story, and you don't feel like you know, have a good grasp of the big picture. And you use this as a kind of a good excuse to not make a decision. And the key with this card is that it's often harder to kind of hesitate and not make a decision than it is just to kind of get it over with and make a decision and go with it. So kind of keeping that in mind, and you might not ever know the whole story before you make a decision. And so this card is just kind of letting you know that there's nothing wrong with thinking things through and taking your time. You just don't want to take too long to make a decision, because it can start to kind of drain your energy and become a bigger deal than it really needs to be. And I also see this card as symbolizing the subconscious, just with the moon and the darkness and the water in the background. All those things to me symbolize the subconscious, and the subconscious can be accessed through your dreams. So paying attention to your dreams, recording them, and noticing themes in your dreams. So I think a lot of us get kind of caught up in the details of our dreams and what the details symbolize, but really you want to go with the overall themes of your dreams. And this can be easier to do if you record your dreams over a long period of time and then look back at them and notice the themes. And when I talk about the themes, I often mean the strong feelings that we have in our dreams. So if we have a lot of dreams where we feel very frightened or panicked, or maybe sad, or even like dreams where you feel really, really happy and like light, like you're floating. And when you look back at those dreams, you can see, you know, which feelings kind of arise most often and what those kind of themes are, rather than the little finer details of the dreams. So I think that's one thing you might want to kind of focus on during this week, particularly in the context of trying to make a decision, is maybe kind of analyzing your dreams a little bit to see what's going on subconsciously that might be keeping you back from moving forward and making decisions. Because making decisions is all about kind of having the courage to move forward with things. And when we pause and we stop for a really long period of time, in a way we're kind of holding ourselves back. It doesn't mean that we have to, you know, make hasty decisions or anything like that, but if you do feel like you're pulling back a lot and holding back, you might want to kind of look into that and see where that's coming from, where that hesitation is coming from. Okay, so next we've got the Hermit, and this card represents the weekend, so kind of Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I actually really like this card. It's really cute. So the Hermit is all about introspection and kind of walking a spiritual path, but also letting your own awareness and your own insights guide the way. So I always see this lantern that he's holding as being kind of the light of inner realization, or the light of awareness, showing the way, and not relying on other people to show the way. So this card can come up if you're feeling somehow maybe isolated, or feeling like you're kind of walking a path alone. And it's always nice to have, you know, trailblazers to go ahead of us and kind of show us the way and tell us exactly what we need to do, what we need to think and believe, and how we need to go about doing something. And that's kind of an easier route than kind of forging a path on your own and figuring things out for yourself and kind of feeling your way through things, and you know, kind of ad-libbing as you go through life, and kind of making things up as you go along, or you know, changing your beliefs as you go, you know, depending on what your experiences are. And so I see this card as kind of speaking to people who feel like that right now, like you feel maybe like you're taking a path that's less traveled, or you're having to kind of feel your way around a situation. And I think we all feel this way sometimes, where, you know, we want a little bit of guidance or someone to help us, but there's maybe no one around, so we're kind of reliant on ourselves and our own intuition and awareness to guide us in the right direction. And I think the message that I get with this card is that when you listen to your own intuition and when you let your own awareness guide the way, you really can't go wrong. Even if it feels like you might be making poor decisions when you're basing it on your intuition, in the long run, when you look back, you realize that you really made all those right decisions when you're making it based on your own, you know, gut feelings and your own intuition. Okay, so taking a step back and just looking at the themes here, I get the sense like these two cards are very dark, and that's not a bad thing, but I think there's going to be a lot of work that we're doing this week with our subconscious, and a lot of inner work. So it could be a lot of meditation if you're into that kind of thing, but a lot of kind of introspection and you know, reflection, self-reflection, maybe a lot of journaling and that kind of thing. So a lot of alone time in a good way, and a lot of kind of self-exploration and just exploring, you know, our unconscious drives and our unconscious desires, and kind of where we're going in life and things like that. Yeah, so it looks like it's an exciting week ahead of us. So I hope you found this reading helpful. My name is Kate, and thank you so much for joining me.